Baruch Shalom, shalom. Hey, welcome. It's been a minute since we've been together, hasn't it? But listen, I've been busy, you've been busy, it's okay. Before we get started, let me just say it's a pleasure to be back here with you. We've been gone for a while, we've been busy, some things have been happening. I'm going to bring the music down a little bit more and so we can just talk. So listen, before we get started, let's talk about the fair use, because with fair use we may use some copyrighted materials of someone else's videotapes, motion pictures, video discs, and under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder we can use them. It's called fair use for purposes of criticism and news reporting and teaching and parody, but we're not making fun of anybody. We're using it for teaching, and we're not out here for fame, for fortune. We're not out here for clicks or demands. We're not out here for numbers. We're out here to bring some truth and some message to Yah's people and to the family, which is assembling underneath this wonderful, beautiful flag we have called the nation of Israel, the Israelites, Hebrew style. Father, we want to thank you in the name of Yeshua for being able to come together and share this word and share this truth with one another and just spend some time on this Shabbat. And so we just thank you, Father. I pray that whatever you send forth reaches the ears you want it to hear. Give me the right word for the right person at the right time, Father. And just make me a willing vessel as I try to be all the time. So I want to thank you, and thank you, family, as we all say amen to Yehoshua. So listen, we have some things that are quite pressing. It's late at night, and I am just trying to get myself together here. Look, we've been working on the website. If I can show you this, and let's bring it over. I've been working on the website, and the website is this website is up, and the Hebrew Israelite website is going to be attached to this on the back side of this. So this is the music website here, where the music is going to be landing, and then the H.I.L website. The one that we're going to be putting these videos on, because we're going to be leaving Facebook and we're going to be putting stuff into YouTube, and I'm also looking at a couple of other platforms, and I'm not liking Facebook because of the fact that the way that they're tracking people, they're listening in to your conversations. You turn this thing on your phone, you turn it on your phone, and it asks for permission to use your camera and your phone, and you don't know who's listening, you don't know who's using your camera. And when they are, I have found that I was sitting up talking to my nephew about a particular product, and then I turn Facebook on. The next thing I know, I'm getting advertisements about something that he and I were talking about. And how did Facebook know? How do you know he and I were talking about this particular machine and that software? And all of a sudden, I'm getting all these advertisements. I didn't look up those advertisements. So that's what I'm saying. We're going to be getting away from Facebook in that fashion. And we're going to be looking at some other things and other platforms. And that's the reason why I want to go back to the platform. So listen, there's a lot of you out there who follow Hebrew Israelites, okay? I'm not asking you to leave Facebook for anyone else or for anything else. But when you get ready to look at us and look for us again, and you see that there's not anything new coming up in Facebook, it's probably because I'm posting it on our website, where I don't have censorship, where I'm not being told what I can and cannot say, and I'm not being told what I can and cannot do, okay? My money comes out of my pocket and funds these websites. So over here I can say and do what I want to say and do what I want to do. If I want to talk to a sodomite like a sodomite and use the F word, in Europe, someone could say, hey man, give me a fag. They mean a cigarette. But when you say that in America, it's something else. Well, if I say that in America, Facebook will say it's hate speech. Okay, but I can call them a sodomite, right? But a lot of people don't know what a sodomite is. So if I zero in on the word, Facebook will lock my account and call it hate speech, right? But you've got people running around here, boys pretending to be girls, and there's the terminology that we used for them. So everyone knew who they were, right? So back in the 60s, they had a song called a Sissy Strut because they knew how to sissy strut it, right? Well, if you say that today, they'll call it hate speech. So see, I'm talking around it because I can't even speak straight to it. I have to talk around it because the algorithms will pick it up and say it's hate speech. Oh, you said the word. See, but I'm talking about a song that someone did. They called it the sissy strut, but they were actually talking about the person who was doing the strut. Okay, so I can't even say that because the algorithm will pick it up and say it's hate speech. So this is the reason why I'm going to be taking the controversial videos and not putting them on Facebook, because we need to be able to say, when we talk about this word and we break out these scriptures and we start delving into, we need to call the devil what he is. We need to call a spade a spade. And and if I call a spade and the algorithm calls it hate speech, they shut the channel down. Then you can't see it and I can't give it to you. So I need to provide a place for us to go to be able to get this information. Otherwise, I have to speak softly and sweetly because we're living in a generation where no one can be offended. You know, let me tell you, Yeshua did not care if he well, I'll take that back. He did care if he offended you, but he did it because he needed to expose your sin. Okay? So, you know, that's where we have to be. We have to be humble enough to have our sins exposed. I'm humble enough to have my sins exposed. You tell me something about me, and I'm a glass mirror. You know, I'm glass. I'll shatter. And my thing is like, I run to the Father and be like, he said so and so, he said so and so, and He'll expose it to me. Like He just exposed some things to me earlier. I was learning. Okay, so I'm learning Hebrew. Okay, well, I'm going to get into that a little while later. But I'm learning Hebrew, right? And so I'm getting into the tefillah and the Lord's Prayer, and I'm getting to the tefillah, and we get down to a point where it says, forgive us our debts as we forgive those, or forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Okay, so see, so the Father was like, how can you ask me to forgive your trespasses when you haven't forgive those who trespassed against you? He had to expose to me that I was harboring resentment, and I didn't even know it. I knew I had been resentful because some things that happened to me in the family and the whole nine, and different things that happened in my childhood that was growing up and the whole nine, and I knew I had some resent. But He said, you're harboring it. It's still there. You thought it was gone, but you're still holding on to it. And you need to let it go. I can't do anything for you. I can't reach out and cover you if you won't uncover those parts for me to touch them. And it's painful, and you don't want anybody to touch it, and so you've covered it up, and you thought that you did away with it because you tucked it in the back of your mind, but it's still there. I see it. You don't see it, but I see it, and I can't do anything for you until you give that to me. And boy, that was a tough one. I'm still dealing with that. He exposed that this week. Okay, so that's like, my mother, my nephew, my sister, my family in particular, my niece. There were some things that happened in the family. Most of you guys know about it, but I said and did some things, and then I cut them off, you know, or they cut me off or whatever. But we just stopped dealing with each other, And the Father said, "You can't do that. I'm the one that moves and shakes. You don't move and shake. You move when I say move. You shake when I say shake. You don't get to do that. If you're following me, I'm the one that calls the shots. Now give me that. Give me that. I want that. And you need to uncover it and give it to me. If you want to walk with me, I need that. Give it to me." And boy, that was painful. And that's something hard to learn. That's something hard, and it's cold because I was doing a study with some other brothers, and I didn't know that was what the study was going to be, and they just brought it, and boom, there it was. I'm like, whoa. And at the time that it hit, he was dealing directly with me. See that right there? That's what I'm talking about. That right there. Humble yourself. Give that to me. And you have to humble yourself and give it up. And I'm still having trouble with the uncovering because it's painful. And someone that's been there for a lot of years, and it's tender right there. So there's some healing that needs to take place, and I'm like, but see, you got to be humble enough to give it up. You got to be humble enough to realize that that's what's going on right there. You know. See, here's the bottom line. It doesn't matter to me if my family never forgives me for that, but it matters to me that he does. Because you see, whatever animosity or resentment they're harboring toward me, that's between them and their L. See, Paul said, let every man work out his own salvation. I got enough trouble working out my own salvation than to be worrying about what you're doing with yours. I spend time enough on me, then I don't have time to be worrying about what's going on with yours. Now, I can tell you, listen, you might want to look at that, but then I got to move on and deal with mine. Because I have some deep-seated issues from childhood that he just bubbled back to the top. Remember this, remember that, remember that? You've been covering that up. What? I forgot all about that. I even forgot that it was even there. Yeah, that's because you covered it up. So anyway, I've been learning this. I've been learning Hebrew, and because I made the decision to want to learn Hebrew, the language of our people, that's how that came forward. See, if I had stayed in Christianity, reading the scriptures from an English perspective, that would have never, ever, it would have never come up. It would have never come up. Right? Because that's churchianity. That's, yeah, you can have an emotional vibe in the whole nine, and you can, yeah, but you're not gonna get this. Because just like I said to you when I was reading out of Second Esdras a month or two back, talking about where the spirits go when it leaves the body. Remember we were doing that one? And then in Second Esdras, I was reading to you there in 721. Look it up yourself. Second Esdras 721. The father was telling Esdras right then, or Ezra right then, that the moment that I put the soul in the body, I told that soul what to do to make it back to me and how to avoid the evil place of the punishment. So before you even got into this body, he was telling you, your spirit, you, the one that's looking at me from behind those eyes, not this chunk of meat, but the soul that lives, he told you how to get home. It's right there. Okay? And so living out this life, we end up picking up a lot of baggage and a lot of dirt and a lot of mud. That's why the righteous are going to scarcely make it in, because of what's going on in here. This is the temple in here. So you got to unhinge a whole lot of baggage in here. And you see these gray hairs in my face? I got a lot of baggage because I got some years walking. Now, I did a lot of good, but I got some baggage. And because of that, the righteous are going to scarcely make it in. So the question is, where do you want to make it? You want to make it in the courtyard and be only able to get out there where the dogs hang out? You want to make it into the temple, or do you want to get into the Holy of Holies? See, there's places where you're going to end up if you don't make it in at all. And when you do make it in, there's places you're going to end up. Now listen, I didn't drink a 5-hour energy before I did this. Okay, so I've been up working on things, and I didn't even think that I was going to get this far tonight. I was going to do this early in the morning with you, but I decided before I go to bed tonight, before I lay down and relax, I need to come in here and talk to you guys. I got my new glasses on. You like them? So anyway, that's something, and I want to show you guys what I kind of been up to. I've been running with the lions, y'all. I've been running with the lions. Okay, I told you I did some all-nighters with Ashira. We got Bani Israel out. I'm working on my material. Nephew kicked up Illuminati Records and asked me to sit on top of that. And he's the owner, but he wants me to be able to jock the artists and things and get them on deck. He just had an epiphany. He was sitting on an airplane, 30,000 feet, and then the father had a conversation with him. Ooh, what a time to have a conversation with the Father. You're sitting at 30,000 feet, right? Your plane could drop out of the sky like a stone if you say no. And he just had to sit there and listen. And he had to, and he, telling me I got to do what I'm told, right? He was told, You've been given a platform. Now use it. Oh boy. So now he's got to talk to the 12 tribes and like, hey, that's your mandate, man. I got my own mandate. You got your, that's your mandate. You asked me to run a company. Okay, yeah, Now you got to you got to do your mandate. You do your thing and I'll do my thing. We'll be in this together. So I've been working on my side of it. Now he's got to do his side of it. And but what a way to get it, man! You had 30,000 feet cruising. You could drop like a stone. I dare you to say no. Oh my goodness! See, the Father has a way of getting your attention. He has ways of getting your attention, and that's so amazing, is that He uses so very simple things. Very simple. He could have got his attention on his way to work that morning. You know, driving in the snow, but no, he waited till he got on an airplane at 30,000 feet. Say, hey, let me talk to you for a minute. You know, now when you're having that kind of conversation and you're looking down at the ground and you're like, okay, what are we talking about here? He's dropping real knowledge on you. So, I've been hanging out with a few different. I've been running with the Lions. Look, there's I'm just want to tell you that there's some things. All right, so let's just get into it. All right, so look, um, let me get myself together here. Here we go. Now, in learning this Hebrew, I had said this to someone. Excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I said, didn't drink a 5-hour energy. I've been going hard. All right. So I said this to someone that I wanted to uh, uh, learn the Hebrew. Okay. And my little brother said he wanted to learn it too. Now, I reached out to a brother who was talking to me about learning the Hebrew, and I had said some things to him because, see, at the time, I was unaware that anyone was out here really teaching it and who really knew about it, because there's a lot of guys who are talking about this Paleo Hebrew. Then they got this little baby gibberish Hebrew they got going on. They got the real Hebrew going on, and then you got the Hebrew Yiddish thing going on, and so when something is lost until someone comes back with something real, it's hard to say who has what and who knows what. So what I had said to the brother was like, look, you just keep walking the way you walk and you keep striving. The Father knows our hearts, and it's not really necessary to learn the language, because we don't really know who knows it anyway. You know, um, and what I really want to express to him is that we need to be open when the information comes. So the information wasn't there for me to give that to you at the time, but the information is there now. Okay, and so you can learn this Hebrew, and so I'm going to learn it because it is the language of our people, and I did find someone who is teaching it, and I'm gonna um, excuse me, get into some of that with us tonight. If I can stay awake, man, I've been really busy. I've been burning the candle at both ends. I tell you, working all day and then coming home and doing this all night. Fortunately, this is Shabbat, and I've got all night. I pull all nighters with a Shira, and I poured 1 5-hour energy down my neck, and it took 2 days, and we knocked this track out like that. But it takes me that when I drink that 5-hour energy, it takes me past that point where like I get sleep, and then when I come out the other side, when it's wearing off, I've already caught my second wind, so I'm still just, now I'm into the other side of the day, and I'm good, I'm gone. But I passed that point where I got sleepy. Excuse me. Okay, and now all the yawns want to come. You know how that works, Mishpachah. You know how that works. I'm not really over here trying to get the yawn on, but listen. So as I was um, going through what I was going through today to come to you guys, I wanted to talk to you about being humble. Okay. Now, I might say some things and I might do some things, um, and some of you guys might think that I'm not very humble, but I am. I'm hard on you. I'm hard on the people around me. Heck, I'm hard on my mama. Okay, but I'm also very hard on myself, right? And I'll throw my life against these scriptures because I can't play with this. I'm not gonna play with it, and I'm not gonna live your lie. I'm gonna live my truth. Okay, so um, if you're stuck in Christianity and I'm coming down on you about that, um, I'm going to live my truth. I'm not going to live your lie. I know that Christianity is a false religion. You just don't know it, okay? And the fact that I'm telling you, you don't want to hear it, probably because I'm family. You don't want to see, but somebody else can come along and tell you, and you'll pick it up. That's fine. I don't care how you get it, just as long as you get it. I'll plant the seed. You may not want to hear it from me because I'm going to give you hard truths and I'm not going to be nice to you about it because you're family. Now, somebody else out there, I'll be as gentle as a dove with them because I might need to be, right? But when you're family, I don't have to be nice to you. I don't have to be nice about it. I'm going to drop the truth and the truth might drop like a stone. Hey, when the Messiah, talks to you, he don't care about how you feel when he's dropping his truth on you. How you feel doesn't matter. How you feel doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that you get this truth. That's what matters. He's not tripping on how you feel. That is not his concern. His concern is that, see, now if he was soft with you, would it break your heart? No. Mm-mm. It wouldn't. You know why? Because when your daddy talks to you, and he's got that little bit of a rough tone, and he's talking to you like that out of love, to keep you from doing something stupid. He's being a little rough with you in order to get you straight. The problem with most of y'all today is that they've been whoever's been raised, you've been too soft on you. You didn't get your butt tagged a time or two to make it real to you. They stand you in the corner for 5 minutes or take a PlayStation away from you, and that's why, everything hurts your doggone feelings these days. If somebody went upside your head a couple of times and then sat you in your room and let you think about it, when you came out, you might have some sense. The scriptures say, spare the rod, you spoil the child. Guess what? All you punks are spoiled. Male and female, y'all are spoiled because the rod has been spared. The father's not going to spare the rod on you. He's just not going to do it. It says that he's going to come and he's going to rule with a rod of iron. And what do you think when the stone, remember Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and the stone that was cut without human hands hit the feet of the statue? What did it do? It smashed it to bits. And once the feet were smashed, the statue couldn't stand, could it? See, that's what happens. That's what needs to happen to some of y'all. You need to have your feet smashed so you can fall over and build yourselves up again because you're too soft. But that's what happens. See, I'm not gonna do that with you. Because if I end up coming, see, the days are short and perilous times are here. The days for being soft are over. There's no time to be soft. Got to be rough with you to toughen you up and make you get ready. Because what's coming could take you out instantly because you're not ready. Or you'll end up taking the mark because you're afraid and you're not ready. See, when Yehoshua said, take up your cross and follow me, when he picked the cross up, what was he doing? He was going to die. See, if you love your life and you want to stay in this world, I had this conversation with someone else. If you love your life and you want to stay in this world, but I don't want my grandkids. I'm like, no, this has to happen. You can pray all you want to and try to stop it. But if you want the Messiah to come and fix it, it has to happen. You got to get yourself ready so you can go through it. We can't stop this. You might slow it down for 5 or 10 years, but it's still going to happen. I don't care how many people put their hands in the air. The Father, okay, I'll give you a reprieve. But you know what it says in Esdras? He says, when the time is done, when my patience is through, I'm coming. It's over. And I'm not going to care about all the souls that are lost. Oh, my God, that might hurt your feet. But you know what? He said, listen, my patience is over. time for love is done. Now it's time for war. You think he's going to be a loving individual for all of the dirt that you guys have been doing and not following the commandments? And he's been saying you got to follow his commandments. So whoever's out there teaching that you don't have to follow the commandments, you in for a rude awakening, because you done led a lot of people astray. Messiah, nowhere in the New Testament. Show it to me. There's a bunch of people out there that believe this, but you can't show it to me in Scripture. You cannot show me where it says that you do not have to keep the law and the commandments anymore. You talk about it. You talk a real good game. I was just going over this with somebody the other night. You know, they don't want the they want Donald Trump is leading us down the wrong path, and I don't want my kids to blah blah blah. You know, I mean, on and on and on and on and on. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? You can't stop this train is rolling. You can't stop this. Messiah's got to come. And whatever he's doing to set up, you know, it's the next phase for the Antichrist. Every president prior to him and the one afterwards are all setting up the world the way it needs to be for the one world government, the one world rulership, the one world religion, the one world money system. It all has to happen that way in order for Messiah to come. You can't stop this. And you can't be crying about the fact that you don't want your kids living in this world. It might, no matter what you want. The scriptures say it's got to happen. You just got to get yourself ready, because it is going to happen. So you just got to get yourself ready. That's it. You can't stop it. It's going to happen. So for everybody who's out there, you know, trying to live this life and be comfortable and love this life, the scriptures say if you love this life, then, you know, you have no place in his kingdom. You know, you're trying to stop, you know, his kingdom from coming. If you're trying to keep this world perpetuated, you're trying to stop his kingdom from coming. Do you think he's going to have any good will in his heart towards you? No, because you're playing on the wrong team. You're not supposed to care about what's going on in this world. If you're being a friend to this world, then you're not a part of his kingdom. Those are enemies of his. Whoever will try to save his life will lose it. Whoever will lose his life for me will gain it. You got to be ready to die. That's why you got to pick up your cross, because where was he going when he picked his cross up? He was going to die. He said, you pick up your cross and follow me. Why would you be carrying a cross if you're not willing to give up your life for this? You have to be willing to give up your life. You got to be willing to die. And people want to live. I don't want to die. What do you mean I don't want to die? What do you mean you don't want to die? You better want to die if you want to live. The righteous are going to scarcely make it in. I would rather know. See, listen, you don't have a guaranteed seat. Your seat's not guaranteed. You could be a Christian for 40 years. You could be a believer for 40 years. And you could die tonight and not have a place in the kingdom. The scriptures say the righteous are going to scarcely make it in. If you're not doing anything to build a kingdom, then you don't have a place. Nobody has a guaranteed seat. No one. I don't care how good you sing. I don't care who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. BBCC Winers, Rance Allen, John P. Key. Nobody has a guaranteed seat. No one. And if you think you do, you're fooling yourself. You don't have a guaranteed seat. The righteous are going to scarcely make it in. And if the righteous are going to barely make it in by the skin of their teeth, then there's no room for a sinner. None. None. So who do you think you are? I'm working on me. Look, when he's showing me that I have hidden animosity, hidden resentment that's been there for years. Man, if I died last night, it's a wrap. If I died before he showed me that, it was a wrap. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not getting in. I might make it to the outer courtyard where the animals are, where the dogs are, but I'm not going into the temple. And I'm certainly not going into the Holy of Holies. I don't want to. You just want to make it to the courtyard? You don't want to be with the Messiah? You don't want to be with the Father? There's some people who are going to be outside the gate. They can go up to the mountain, but they can't go in. They can't even go in the courtyard of the temple. Is that what you want? That's not what I want. That's not why I'm doing this. And these are the things, see, as we go, these are the things the Father reveals to you. You know, and when you get in these kind of revelations, you know, it really makes you want to get your stuff together, because you need to get your stuff together in a way that will cause you to be able to get where you need to go. Because, listen, these shepherds and these pastors and these fake priests out here are leading a lot of people astray. And you just might be one of them, okay? So we're going to get into some of this fair use. I'm going to show you guys something. And I want to talk about this for a minute, but I'm going to show this to you, all right? And then we're going to talk about this. Let me get my mouse moving here. Where was it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, this is John P. Key. He's at West Angeles Church of God in Christ. Now, when in the 80s, early 80s, when I was at West Angeles, I don't know what's going on now. But I was at West Angeles when the people of questionable sexual orientation were starting to show up. They was in the choir. They was leading the choir. They was starting to show up. Okay, and this is, I don't know when this was, but this is John B. K. I just want to show you something. I'm trying to get it to play now, y'all. See if I can get it to play. Trying to get it to play. Here we go. I think I heard it. No? Come on, play for me. It doesn't want to play for me. So I'm going to try it again. Hold on. I'm going to try it again. I have it set up so that when I turn the page on, it's supposed to just come right on, but sometimes they don't. I did that one time with a Donald Trump video. I was trying to show you when he was talking about Space Force. There was something that he said that I wanted to point out to you, that I've been knowing it for years, but then he said it. Let's see if this will play. Played a few minutes ago when I was just starting this off. Come on, play. Oh, man. This technology, y'all, I'm telling you, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Come on, play. This is crazy. I just had it playing a minute ago before I started this to bring this to you. All right, so I'm not gonna fight with that. We're gonna do this one. I want you to do a Shira. We're gonna ride with a Shira for a minute, and then we'll come back to him.
Israel, we on the rise. Voila. I gave it all up, submitted my life to Allah movement. You could put the world on my back and I ain't moving, I'm a new man. Trying to stop what we doing, we'll cause a revolution from Jerusalem, call you hot. All nation will submit until arrive. The second coming, the son of David in the ride. The destruction of Mecca is the rising of the valley of Becca. When I'm alive to all my ops with Rebecca. My life is like an action-packed video, shackled in Cairo, not fake Egyptian pharaohs. I go hard for this truth, ask God and Baruch. Wash my hands up, don't fake Hebrews there too. Apparently, our movement's a threat to their security. My motto simply fuck their authority. We're royalty, our loyalty to the kingdom of H.I.L. Pray to the Arab gods and like never nah. In America for his daughter that he never stole. Danny Israel forever, my nigga, that's how we roll. When the beef get thick, we build for it. We never quit. Family and friends walked away from the covenant. Believe the world had more to offer and they living in it. There's no escape from job punishment. It's evident you lost your faith in the midst of the battle. Free falling off, that'll be the day. It's like the most I'm not comparing these heathen unto spittle. A soldier in combat, grateful justice. Trust us, we taking down a new world order. Assyrian Augustus. You say you know Torah? Stop lying. I ain't never seen you been sit on the feast of Mount Zion. Close the border and Ariel. Jalal about to lose the bands of Orion. Prepare for hell. From the east, the southern kingdom wants the world sales being released. Anti-Mashiach in the midst of the week would cease the feast. He's the beast, we would stop in these holy mountains. Have you seen the waters return, bringing forth fountains? The 144 being sealed and he's still doubting. Hold fast just to Abrahamic faith. We embrace the fact that we from the set apart race. So we seek his face in the set apart place. And if you truly praise the Most High, this would be your case. Each Pasaka, we slaughtered before the sheep gate. And for the lifestyle of Torah, all my ox go ache. Look at the chosen seed state, increased murder rate. And for the largeness of Israel, death awaits. All deceiver, harmongers, and liars will burn in the lake of fire. Submitted to their worldly desires.
Yeah, okay, so in the back of that video, you can see that there's a one of our brothers, one of our more fair-skinned brothers, was hanging out back there. Oh, actually, let me let this play. This is the oh no, well, no, I stopped it already. But if you watch it, we have it up on YouTube. If you watch it, you'll see that they've got the lions walking in the back, and that's where he shows you about the garments. Okay, so let's see if we can get this other one playing. It's supposed to just come right on. Doesn't want to play. That's crazy. Don't want to play. All right, let's try this. Fair use.
What's up, man? How you doing? Could you show about this man? Steve, you can trip it all week, man. I brought you this dude any good. He's a little unique, but it's gonna be good. Sit down, sit down.
Here I am. Pastor Pretty. Don't please stop. Sit down. Everybody take your time. Welcome to Community Awareness Week. Now, there's a lot of y'all fans in there. I know it's hot in here. That's because we have been asking for donations for the air conditioner, and y'all ain't sent a quarter in.
Make no kind of sense. I'm talking hot, slave hot. It's Negro spiritual hot in here.
Anyway, put your hands together from right down the street, Dwayne Franklin.
This boy's good, I'm telling you.
Somebody just text me a Bible verse.
Dwayne Franklin. That's Dwayne Franklin's brother right there. Family. Oh, there you go. How you doing?
Yeah, fried chicken in the church, y'all.
How y'all doing this evening? You look so wonderful. You know, matter of fact, you ought to give yourself a hand. Give yourself a hand.
Okay, so when I'm talking about the effeminate,
Together for my band, Heavenly Chocolate. Heavenly Chocolate.
can you see the effeminate going on?
So wonderful, don't you agree?
I mean, I understand it's supposed to be like, you know, a parody or they're making fun of it, but there's a whole lot of
In his hands.
sodomite behavior, effeminate behavior going on here.
I got something for you.
See this? Look at this.
Dedicate this song to recession, depression, and unemployment.
Look at the body movements and the behavior. Because this is what's happening in the church. And they ain't playing. When the choir director's up there and he's swinging that left arm and that right arm like that, everybody know, look at his hands. See his hands? Fried chicken in the church, y'all.
I'll be honest with you.
It's supposed to be a comedy. But there's a whole lot of girl acting in
When I
him.
think how much better I'm gonna be when this is over. What you do? Come on and God's people. Now every day ain't gonna be perfect, but it still don't mean today don't have purpose. Come on.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds and it's dark in my heart and it feels like a cold night.
It ain't easy, but
Today's a new day. But tell me what
So,
about blue skies?
where is that
Um,
love, y'all?
Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? Tell me it's all.
Let's see if we can get this to go. Because I really want you to see this one. I might have to go to YouTube to get this one cracking. This is it's John P. Key at West Angeles Church of God in Christ in 2014. It's part 4. You can look it up on YouTube and you can watch it if I can't get this to go. And it doesn't look like it wants to. Like it's trying to start, but it just won't. I don't know why. Let me see if any of this has any bearing on it. Making it smaller might give it less resources. It might give it some more control. No, doesn't want to play. Okay, so anyway, so my thing was that, you know, inside of this video here, you know, he calls up this young man who comes up to sing. And the young man comes up to sing, and, you know, I don't want to take anything away from anyone's spirituality or how you think that how you work with the Most High, how you work with, you know, everybody's different. You know, he deals with us each, you know, differently. But I was looking at this young man's performance, and it looked like a performance. It did not look like, see, John P. Key at the end of this thing, he got really emotional, right? Now, that could be real or it could be an act. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's an act. I'm not saying that it wasn't real. I just know that I've been in these churches and I've watched people pull off the act. Okay, I used to attend West Angeles Church of God in Christ. I wasn't there in 2014, so I don't know what's going on in there now. But when I was there in the 80s, I'm telling you, the choir, the entire choir, was full of questionable sexuality. The choir director was of questionable sexuality. See, I have to be nice about the way I say this because, you know, Facebook will call it hate speech, and they'll take my video down. But you know what I'm saying. And the churches were full of it. Okay, so John P. Key is sitting here and he got emotional at the end. Okay, and I get that, you know, because when you really, you don't care, even if you're a Christian, you know, if you're really trying to be in in the walk with the Father, you know, because you're gonna get emotional. Because I was a Christian for many, many years, and I believed everything, and I still believe everything. I just understand it differently now. And I'm no longer a Christian. But my faith hasn't been shaken. I still have the same faith. I just have a different understanding of my faith now. I know that my Mashiach's name is not Jesus. I know his name is Yehoshua. And what I was trying to show you was they're singing this song about Jesus, and this boy is singing all these riffs and runs, and he's running from heaven to hell and back with these riffs and runs, and in the middle of it, he starts saying Yehoshua, Yeshua. And then turn around and start singing Jesus again. I'm like, wait a minute. He knows? And he's still playing this game? See, and that's the thing. You know, people will expose their knowledge, you know, and they use it as a part of their performance. And the audience took it as a part of his performance. I saw, wait a minute. What I saw was he knows. And he's still playing the game. See, once I found out, I told my mother in the 80s, if I found out there was no Jesus, I wouldn't stop living this way. Well, guess what? I found out there wasn't no Jesus. I'm still living this way. Oh, it was hard for me for about a month because I found out there was no Jesus. I was going crazy on my front porch 5 years ago. It took me that long from the 80s up until now. But I was going crazy on my front porch about 5 years ago when I found out there was no Jesus. That it really was Yeshua or Yehoshua. But once the Father got me past that, I've been good. Didn't shake my faith. I still believed. It just made me like, well, who I've been praying to all this time? If it ain't him, who, you know? But see, and the Father said, you remember when you told your mother that if you found out there was no Jesus, you wouldn't change living this way? You're not going to change living. You're just getting a better understanding of what my son's name is. You know? So if his name is Jesse, and you've been calling him Joe all these years, when you find out that his name is Jesse, are you still going to keep calling him Joe? No, because you now know that his name is Jesse, and you're going to call him by his right name. He was being nice to you by not correcting you, because most people will clean your clock and knock you in your jaw and tell you, my name is not Joe, my name is Jesse. Call me by my name or don't call me at all. Partner. You know how we are. But he was being nice about it for all them years. I could have died at any time not knowing. I could have been taken out of here any time not knowing. Fortunately, what you don't know is not held against you. But you don't have that luxury now because I just said that to you. Now you know. So anyway, I was trying to show you this because this young man's performance was just that. It was a performance. And you could tell that it was a performance. He got called up, and I remember I used to be in these churches. I'd be sitting in the back, and they would call me up and make me come sit on the drums, and I'd go up there and I'd kill it. I would perform. Drop the house, and then everybody would be like, oh my God, and I'd walk away because I was in Motown then, see? And the reason why they called me up is because I was in Motown. I was recording, and I was, you see, and so they called this young man up. He's a recording artist. Then they said, you know, choir director, send me somebody. Just don't send me anybody. Send me somebody, he said. Don't just let anybody come up here. Send me somebody. He wanted somebody. He wanted somebody he knew that could perform on that level with him. Because this is John P. Key. They play on a certain level. So then, guess who they sent up? They sent up Tone. How's he spell it? Tonex. And he came up there and he did his performance. And I really wanted you guys to see this, and watch their performances, because that's what it is. You're performing in front of this, appreciative crowd. I mean, the crowd is great. The crowd appreciates it, but you're in the sanctuary of the Most High. Are you there for the Most High, or are you there performing? See, that's the thing. That's why I stopped playing in church when I realized that I was being pimped out and that I wasn't actually there for the right reason. That's when I stopped playing. And when I do play now, I play because I want to. I play because it's my worship. I play because it's my praise. Not because somebody said, hey, man, come up here and play with me. Come play for me. So when I go and I play, somebody asks me to come and play. I play because it's my worship. It's my praise. I don't play for money anymore. You can't give me money anymore. It's not worth that to me. I'm there for a whole different reason, and I don't even go into churches hardly anymore. I'll go if someone asks me to come. Guy asked me, a few months back to come and sit in on a session with him at a church, to support his friend who's working with the homeless. I said, of course. There's a reason behind that. I would go because he's trying to, get a place for the homeless. Trying to clothe them and house them and feed them, and the Father to us, the Messiah said that's what we were supposed to do. You see me hungry, you're supposed to feed me. You see me homeless, you're supposed to give me a place to sleep. You see me, that's what we're supposed to do. So of course I said, I wasn't there for me, I'd be there for him and his friend to support their cause and their mission. That's why I would go back into a house of Beth Aven. That's why I would go back into Beth Aven. I wouldn't go in for any other reason. If it wasn't something for the people, I wouldn't do it. So this is not going to play, but it's John P. Key at West Angeles Church of God in Christ, Kojic, COGIC, 2014, Part 4. You can look it up, and you can watch this young man and the other dude do his thing. So I'm going to get away from this, and I'm going to get into what we came in here for, okay? So over here, I just recently purchased some material, and this is called the Hebrew Israelite Scriptures, His Word, and this is done by Kai Yeshua Press. And Kai Yeshua, I've been studying with these guys, and I like what's going on here. I like the way they do their thing, and he teaches the Hebrew, and he is also teaching people about how to utilize these scriptures. Okay, so let's see if we can.
Got it from a friend, and we discussed the potential benefits as well.
Skip this.
Shalom, this is Jediah, and I'm back to make a video. I wanted to do something really quick and short this time to help those in their understanding, those who are trying to learn the Hebrew language or who want to get to know how to say Tefillah Yehovah, or as they say, the Lord's Prayer, but Ivrit in Hebrew. So what I've done is I've written it down here on the board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it, and then at the bottom of the screen I'm going to put the pronunciation using English letters so that you can do the translation. That way everybody can practice saying the Lord's Prayer, Yehovah, Tefillah Yehovah, in their house. So Avinu Sheba Shemayim Yit Kodash Shemeka Tavo Malkuteka Ya'ase Razonka Ka'ashir Bashemayim Gamba Aretz Tain Lanu Lekum Kukwenu Hayom Wasalak Lanu Kal Ashmatenu Ka'ashir Salakim Ashmu Lanu Wa Al Tavienu Layadai Nacion ki tikalzenu min hara. Ki laka hamamlaka, waha gavora, waha teferet, le olame, olamin, amen. So again, Avinu, our Father, Sheba Shemayim, that is in heaven, Yit Kwadash Shemeka, hallow or sanctify your name. Tavo Malkuteka, your kingdom come. Ya'ase Razonka, your will be done. Ka'ashir Bashemayim Gam Ba'aretz. Right here is Ka'ashir Bashemayim Gam Ba'aretz. Usually in English they say as it is on earth, on earth, so on earth as in heaven. But in Hebrew it's actually as in the heaven, so on the earth. I have an Aramaic New Testament that's where the Greek was translated from, and heaven is mentioned first because the earth is supposed to be like heaven, and heaven is above and the earth is below, and the Most High starts with what's higher first. So as it is in heaven, so let it be on the earth. Not as it is on the earth, so let it be on heaven. So as it is in heaven, ka'asher b'shamayim, as it is in heaven, also on earth. Tain lanu lekum kukwenu hayom. Give us our bread, our daily bread today. Give us this day our daily bread. Wasalak lanu ka ashmatenu, and forgive us all of our sin or our guilt. Ka asher salakim ashmulanu, and forgive us all our sins as we forgive. I forgot a word. Otanu. Salakim otanu ashmu lanu. Let me just write this word real quick. Otanu. Otanu. Okay. So ka'ashir salakim otanu ashmu lanu. So as we forgive those who sin to us or against us. Wa al tavienu laide nacion, and lead us not into the hands of temptation. Ki tikalzenu min hara, but deliver us from evil. Evil in Hebrew is ra. It's really ra. You gotta roll the resh, the R sound. Tikalzenu min hara. Ki laka hamamlaka, for thine is the kingdom. Waha gavora, and the power, waha teferet, and the glory, la olame olamin, forever and ever, eternally. Amen. Amen means to confirm or to believe. Okay, and as it says in the book of Revelations, Yehoshua is the Amen. So that's the quick lesson for Yehovah's prayer, Tefillah Yehovah. And with that, I'd like to say shalom.
All right, so this is Jediah Melech. You'll find him on YouTube, Jediah. He's a Kayeshua. And there's Kayeshua Facebook. I'm going to show all that stuff to you there. But one thing I want to show you here real quick before we go too much further is the fact that the reason why I showed you the book in the beginning is because Jediah and his little team, in their endeavor, they have taken to create his word, the Hebrew Israelite Scriptures, and they put all of the Hebrew names back and the Hebrew places and the faces and stuff back. He's put all of that stuff back, and so inside of the book, what you're going to see is this right here, and I just snapped a quick picture of it because I have the PDFs. Now, what I did was I have a very good friend, young lady, good friend of mine, and I study with her periodically, but we always talk and we always share whatever we know about scriptures. And so when I purchased this copy, I gave her a copy, and I wanted to get this for both her and I, but I didn't want to spend, $400 a pop each, or so. I'll show you in a second. But inside the cover of the King James 1611, inside the cover of this book, right when you get inside the cover of it, you're going to find that there is that this, okay, the Lord's Prayer. And what he just went over in that video, you'll see there's the Hebrew. Here is the transliteration so you can speak it in English. It helps you pronounce it so you can see Avinu, Shabaya, Shemayim, Yikwamash, Shemika, Tabu, Malikatika, Malkutika, right? And underneath it is the English. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed, sanctified be your name. Let kingdom come. Okay, so I was explaining to someone else the other day, when you learn to read this Hebrew, it doesn't come out the way that we read it in English. Because in English, like he said, heaven first and then earth. Instead of on earth as it is in heaven. It's heaven first in heaven and then on earth. And then also, like in the beginning of the scriptures, what I found is that, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. No, in the beginning created God. That changes things when you read it in that fashion. Because now it's starting to tell you what he is about to create. Instead of in the beginning God created, that just sounds like a sentence of like a history of what he's done, as opposed to speaking from another perspective of what he's about to do, and it's going to tell you what he did. So studying with these guys and getting a different understanding, and then there's a brother over here by me who's affiliated with Jediah. He's in Sacramento. I'm up on the mountain, and I'm going to contact him also. But he did a study the other day and broke something down to me and flipped my wig. I'm like, what? Really? Like that? And so I'm looking at it and see they give you this, because this Hebrew has vowel points, but Jediah will teach you all of it. He'll teach you the Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew that doesn't have any vowel points. He'll teach you which actually is different lettering. He'll teach you the Masoretic, which doesn't have the vowel points, and then he'll teach you this, which has the vowel points, and explain to you why. And so that's why I wanted to get to that little brother who was talking to me about this and say, this is somebody that I will learn from. Because as he's breaking down each one of those, he's telling you why. And he's showing you where it comes from and how we got there. And not only that, he has scriptural reference as well as historical reference to show you that when they kept the languages the same. What they did was they changed the way the lettering looks. They changed the letters, but the way you say it and the way it's pronounced is still the same. That never changed. It's just the way that it was written is what's changed. Okay? And then once you take that, and like he said that the King James Bible was translated from the Greek scriptures of the Hebrew, because they didn't have the Hebrew. They had the Greek scriptures of the Hebrew. So now you have to figure out how to take it all the way back. And so now that they have the Paleo Hebrew, they're able to see the stuff that happened in the middle. You've got the beginning, you've got the front now, and then you've got the end. You can clearly see what happened in the middle and how it got there. And so that's what we're doing here. And so you have that. This King James book, this one here, his scriptures, right? Got this in a PDF, right? And it's got some wonderful stuff in it. And not only do you have that, you've got the concordance here. Same thing, but it's the concordance. They've done the same thing with the concordance. Right? And then, not only did he have that in the concordance, but he also did it to the Apocrypha. Right? Now, he's got the King James book in various different flavors. I'm going to show this to you. Okay? They've got the King James book. I'm going to take you to the website first. It's the Hebrew Israelite Scriptures.com. Let's go to the website and let's look at this. Okay? So, this is Kai Yeshua Press. See the size of that book? That's the King James 1611 with the Apocrypha and all the goodies in it. Okay? That book is, can I get to the, yeah, I can get to the store here. Let's go to the bookstore. Go to the bookstore and we'll show you, okay? And we're not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere. Okay, so here we go. So here's the Testament of Yeshua. This is the New Testament. This is all this. This is nothing but the New Testament here, right? This is a hardback, I believe. Yeah, this is a hardback, and it's $69. That's the New Testament, and it has all of the words of Yeshua in red with the Hebrew names put back in it. You can go to his word, Hebrew Israelite Scriptures.com, and you can read this for yourself. I just want to show it to you. And then there's the Testament of Yeshua in the soft cover for $49. Here's the Wisdom, Knowledge, and Understanding combo. They got it on sale for $170.98. That's all 3 books I just showed you. I got them in the PDF. So that's all 3 books. But if I was to buy all 3 books, $170 for me, $170 for her. There's in order to get the just this little breakout, and this breakout here is a separate book all unto itself, but it's still the New Testament, but it focuses just on what Yeshua was talking about. Everything that's red letter, when you pick up a Bible and it's all red letter, that's Christ talking, that's prophetic stuff, that's him talking. That's what this focuses on. Okay, that's what this whole book breakdowns and studies. Okay, and that's $69. So by the time you spend $170 for this, and you get a couple of these, and then you also want to have the 1611, which is the big book. This is the Express Hebrew Israelite Scriptures, the Restored Hebrew King James Bible. This is the one. I think this is the one in black and white. This is the one in black and white. He's got one in black and white, and he's got the full one in color. That's $120, right? It's got the Apocrypha in it. It's got, this is the big. This is your study Bible right here. This is what you're gonna, if you're gonna carry your Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, 1611 with the Apocrypha. This is the one. With this one, you're still gonna need a concordance though, and then down here you'll find the concordance and the Apocrypha and the separate books. Okay, so you figure you're gonna spend a chunk of change in here. If you're trying to fill out your library with your study books. And so I decided that I would start with the digital copies because I'm at work a lot and I'm teaching a lot. And when I'm teaching, so what I did was I loaded up, I have 3 different tablets and 2 phones. I loaded it up on all of my tablets. I loaded it up on my phones. I have it on my desktop. I have it on my laptop. So if anyone comes over and we're sitting down and we're studying, I put this in your lap. I don't have to worry about, spending $500 for books. What happens is that I can put this in your lap and we can all study together. So if you want your own book and you see what we're studying from, you can buy your own book. I mean, the most cost-effective book in here is the Testament of Yeshua for $49, the soft cover. You can get the black and white version of this big 1611 for just $64. The black and white version, I mean, it doesn't have the color pictures and and when you go to press that, they charge you for that stuff. So they, you can't fault them for having the price up there, but they got to offset the cost somehow, because it's the family doing this, and he did not have to do this. He did this on his own to benefit us. Okay, he put his money into it. His wife did a GoFundMe campaign, and what they did, and they raised the funds, and then they put these books out. The whole story is out there. You can read it. So you've got here's the concordance with the Hebrew names book. It's got the Strong's numbers and the biblical genealogy, so you can know who is who for 39. Everything is in here. And if you want to do what I did to get the digital downloads, just click that button right there, and you'll come up with the digital downloads. We're not leaving. We're not going nowhere. And here's the digital downloads. I think I paid $59.97 or $54.97, something like that. It wasn't $60 for all 3 of these. Okay. So I've got the big 1611, right? The one that's $120. The big book, I got that one for $29. I got the Apocrypha for $9, and I got the concordance with the genealogy and all of that in it for $14. Okay, you saw what they were on the other side, but for less than $60, that's what it'll cost you. Okay, and it has the Hebrew in it, and then they're teaching the Hebrew. They have the Hebrew classes over there. Let's look at let's go over here. This is Jediah's website, or here's the YouTube. And when you go into the YouTube, all of this stuff is in there. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you one thing about this. If you have a sincere heart, and the Greek translate the heart as the mind. I've said this before. The heart knows nothing. It's just a muscle that pumps blood. But if you have a sincere mind, and you really, 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 truly are willing and ready to give it up to the Father and learn this language and walk this Torah walk, things are going to be exposed in your life, family. And there's going to be some ugly things exposed. But in order to get to where we need to be, look, it wasn't comfortable for me to have this resentment that I've been harboring exposed. It wasn't comfortable because it goes back to a lot of childhood hurt. You know, there's things that happened to me in my childhood, you know, that was still living with my mother. And I have my mother 80-something years old, and I got her here with me now. I see the average person would take a lot of that out on their parent because, you know, you did me wrong when I was a kid. Now I got you, and you in this vulnerable state, I can take you. But see, I don't think like that. But I was still hurt, and I was still carrying some anger, and I'm still carrying some anger, and he's working with me through that. But see, he exposed it, and it broke me. And you got to be humble enough to let those dark areas be exposed, because I have forgotten, family, about a lot of stuff. I had just buried it, you know, and I couldn't figure out why. You know, I was just telling my friend, you know, I got some resentment issues. And the reason why I said that to her was because it had just been exposed to me, you know. And not only her, but like family who've just recently done things to me, you know. And see, because I hurt easy and I don't forgive easy. I don't forgive fast. You know, I've always internalized things and held things on the inside. I've always done that. And a lot of us do that. But in order for us to heal, we got to let it go, family. We got to let it go, fam. Because it's going to keep us from getting to where the Father wants to take us. And I'm trying my very, very hardest not to be emotional right now because it's real. This is real. And it will expose it even in the best of it. It will people you think got it all together. When you start doing this, man, look, their stuff gets exposed, and they gotta step back and say, wait a minute, I can't do this. I can't lead you. I can't teach you. I gotta get me together because I've got some stuff going on, you know, that I gotta deal with. So I'm just saying, be mindful, you know, that these are the things that would happen. Okay. Now, there's also, have I gotten there yet? Yeah, this is Kai Yeshua Facebook. Okay, it's trying to ask me to log in. But there's also a Facebook page. Okay, I don't want to log in. Not now. Okay, so there's also a Facebook page. I'm showing you because this is where you want to go. If you want to get into this Hebrew, if you want to learn this Hebrew and get these scriptures, family. This is Kai Yeshua. There's a lot of brothers out there who don't like Jediah. There's a lot of brothers out there who don't like ISUPK or CKDYD, who, you know, these camps, these colorful camps. You know, we're not supposed to be building division. We're supposed to be trying to grow together. So my thing is like this. If this brother has something for me, I don't care who don't like him. It doesn't matter to me who don't like him. And I'm going to tell you now, if you know about this and you don't like this brother, you don't have to do this. You don't have to. I'm just telling you what's going to work for me. Right? Just like there's some brothers who don't like Ashira. You know, they're like, oh, well, he dropped the F-bomb in his song. I'm like, do you think that's going to shake his salvation? You think that's going to, the Father, I mean, the work that man is out there doing for the kingdom, you think the Father's going to care about him dropping an F-bomb here or there? You know, righteous indignation is one thing. You know, just out there, you know, frivolously saying some things is different. Some things happened to him, and he was angry about it. And so to be, to have indignation for a thing righteously, there's no wrong in that. There's no sin in that. And it says so in the scriptures. Something happened to him, something happened to me, and I wrote a song about it. It's on my webpage. And I was mad about it. I said some things. I didn't say a lot, but I said a thing or two. And he didn't say a lot, but he said a thing or two, you know. But he had to say it that way in order for the people who were involved to understand the pain and how wrong they were and what they did. There's just some things you can't say lightly. Listen, Peter was standing around when they took Mashiach in for questioning. And they were scourging him in the whole nine. And they looked over and they saw Peter and said, look, there's one of them right there. What did Peter do? Peter had to curse like 3 or 4 times, didn't he? Did that take away his salvation? You go read, what was it? What was I reading? Was it Nehemiah or Nahum? As a priest, he went and it's in one of my teachings, like it's in one of my videos. He went and contended with them. He cursed them out and whooped their butts. Tore their hair out. Challenged them. Took off on their asses. So it's all through scriptures. Righteous, there's nothing wrong with righteous indignation. Y'all need to get up off of that. Oh man, see, that's you being soft. Let me tell you, when Judah and his brothers took off on the boys of Shechem, do you think they was being nice about it? They killed the whole city and everybody in the city. Didn't leave nothing standing. 2 brothers. And then the other brothers got involved and started knocking off everything. And everybody who decided they wanted to get in their way got killed. You think they was being nice about it? Y'all better get up off this little sweet, nice pan. See, because when the Messiah come back, he's not coming back for peace. He's coming back for war. Peace is over with. That's what the scripture says. In 2nd Ezra, he said, look, when my patience is done, patience is done. Patience is up. Ain't no time for love. I'm coming back to kick some ass. Those aren't the words he's using, but that's exactly what he's saying. It's time for war. When I come back, it's time for war. There's no time to be, that's not going down like that. I'm taking my kids, the one that's been acting right, and everybody else is getting smoked. So you guys better go read these scriptures and stop being weak and pansy about this. Okay? So, family, I love you guys. And that's why I said, I'm not going to be nice. I'm not going to be sweet about this. There's no point in being sweet. There's no point in being nice about this. Because sweet and nice is what got us in the condition we're in now. Lying pastors, lying shepherds, lying leaders, who are in it for the money and trying to keep everybody under their control and under their spell. It's time to come out from underneath their control. It's time to come out from underneath their spell. It's time for us to walk in the right way that the Most High God of Israel, the Most High H.I.L of Israel wants us to walk in. We don't have time for nothing else, family. We don't have time for nothing else. So, Mr. Kyle, I want to thank you for hanging out with me. It's been beautiful. It's been fun. It always is. And we're going to see you on the other side. Listen, I'm building the H.I.L page. Like I said, I'm going to park it on top of the music page. And so you'll be able to get to that. And pretty soon, here shortly, we'll have it. And this is where all the controversial stuff is going to be, the stuff that's not safe for Facebook. And eventually, we'll end up leaving Facebook. If you come over with me, you come over with me. If you don't, it's been nice knowing you. I love you, but I'll check you out on the other side. Because you see, I'm not going to hold up what I'm doing for you. You found me because we were on Facebook. If you like what we're doing and you like where we're going, you can come over to the other website. That's not going to stop you from going back to Facebook when it's time for you to go do what you got to do on Facebook. But in order for me to do what the Most High is calling me to do and what I need to do, there's some things I can't say or do on Facebook. And there's some things I need to do, and there's some things I need to say. And it won't live on Facebook. You know, and I don't want to be biting my tongue and always dancing around my words. I want to tell you what's really going on. So I have some other things I want to talk about, but I can't show them on Facebook. Listen, I had another Facebook page, okay? And I found out some things about Facebook from the CIA and the NSA, and I posted the video of it. And all of a sudden, I had a thing on my page saying, well, who are you? Give me your driver's license, your social security number, and your birth certificate, or we're going to shut your page down. Okay? So I did the video, and I showed you guys that this is what they're doing to this page that we're on right now. They're asking me to give them, you know, I have to show them my driver's license, my birth certificate, or my social security card in order for me to even boost so you can do a boost and put this information in front of more people. Okay, so apparently somewhere along the line I've said something or did something, and now they're asking me for that information again, or I can't boost this information. And I put the video out there. Go to the YouTube, go to the H.I.L YouTube, Hebrew Israelites YouTube, and look at it. The video is there. I show it to you. This is why I'm leaving Facebook. Because you get this to a point where there's censorship starting to happen, and you can best believe when the days come, they're going to start grabbing people up because of your faith and because of your belief. You know, they'll be looking for people who have pages like this, pages like Jediah's, pages like Pete the Messenger. They'll be looking for, you know, Ashira. You know, who they hemmed him up. They had him hemmed up in Egypt. The Alphabet Boys, who I just mentioned, had him hemmed up in Egypt, talking about he was a spy. Just recently, and it's in the song Banning Israel. Just listen to the song. That's what he's talking about. So, family, the days are coming. Persecution is starting to happen to our brothers, and we got to stand strong. These are the days. Time is getting wicked. All right, I love you. I'm out of here, and we'll see you on the next go-round.